Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be hitting theaters really soon, and I think it's going to be great, okay? I'm super excited for the movie. The first two Deadpools were hilarious. I was a big fan, and now that they're bringing in Hugh Jackman, and it's going to be a big multiversal comedy, it's going to be awesome. But Deadpool claims that he's Marvel Jesus, and that he's gonna save the MCU, and that's possible, but I think it's more likely that this is just gonna be a blip on the radar screen, and then we're gonna go back to the same sludge that we usually get. Even if this movie is good, I don't think it's gonna save the MCU. Now, there's a chance this movie's gonna be bad, and then the MCU is just screwed. Like, there's no way the MCU is coming back if this movie sucks. But worst case scenario, this movie is gonna be really funny, but have like a lackluster plot, and not really give any of the surprises we were hoping for. But I highly doubt that this is just going to be a completely unenjoyable time, because from what we've seen in the trailers and Ryan Reynolds' track record and the MCU's track record, that's not going to happen. But after this movie, the MCU can go nowhere but down, okay? Until maybe the Avengers Secret Wars movie. There's a possibility Avengers 5 could maybe reignite some life. But until then, none of the projects they've announced have gotten me excited in any way. Like the new Agatha All Along show they just dropped a trailer for. That looks actively repulsive to me. Like, I do not want to watch that show at all. And that's the kind of show that the MCU does not need right now. The MCU needs to broaden their audience. They need to go back to big event films that bring people together, bring people back to theaters so that they can get momentum going, so that they can introduce a new overarching storyline like they did in the Infinity Saga and actually bring people back, get people excited for something. They don't need to go down and niche down and do a spin-off witch show for a side character in a show from 3 years ago that was mildly successful. I know this show was greenlit like way before they realized the MCU was gonna tumble off a cliff, but they really should have canceled it after like Thor Love and Thunder, because as soon as like the She-Hulk era of 2022 MCU rolled around, the bells at Marvel should have been going off, and they should have been like, oh, we need to go back to our most popular characters that people actually like, and we have to tell good stories with them that are faithful to the characters that audiences have come to know, right? Not Thor Love and Thunder, not She-Hulk, not the Marvels. Come on, guys. There's a reason the first three phases of the MCU were popular, okay? And Marvel has seemed to completely miss the reason why in these past few phases. And the chances of that getting any better in the future are very low. The next movie coming out after Agatha All Along is Captain America Brave New World. I thought this movie was going to be complete trash and I had no interest in seeing it. But then they released some Comic-Con footage and allegedly it was pretty cool. Harrison Ford is going to be the president and it was going to be more of like a Winter Soldier espionage movie. But then I heard that there was like 3 months of reshoots. Like, they forgot to shoot 3/4 of the movie, like it was that bad. And then they did a test screening, and apparently Anthony Mackie has no chemistry with his love interest on screen, and it's just not an enjoyable time. And then it turns out they only had 3 months of reshoots, so it really wasn't as bad as we thought. But the budget is still ballooning to like almost $400 million, which is insane. No Captain America movie, especially a Captain America movie with our knockoff Captain America, deserves that big of a budget. And then it turns out they're doing reshoots to just add in a new villain played by the guy from Breaking Bad. Like, how do you shoot a whole movie and then not realize that you need a villain? Oh, and just a little side note here, if he plays another one of these characters where he's just sort of the evil genius in charge who's super well spoken with that soft voice that articulates everything, I think I'm gonna get a little mad. It was good in Breaking Bad and it was cool in The Boys, but it's getting annoying. Can that guy do anything else? I don't know. I think he only has one mode, and it's a good mode, but come on, switch it up. So anyways, after that rant, I've concluded that I'm no longer excited for this movie. All the signs are pointing to this being a train wreck. It's not gonna be fun. We're all gonna be like, oh, so Marvel still isn't doing so hot. And then after that, we're gonna get the Thunderbolts, I think. I don't care enough to look up the order of the movies. But I know we're getting the Thunderbolts at some time in the future, and it's just a team, like, knockoff Suicide Squad type thing with everyone's least favorite superheroes, so they put them all in a team because no one would want to watch an individual movie with any of those characters. So they put them all in a team, and they're going to be Marvel's Suicide Squad. and that movie is not going to be fun. And you might be saying, well, how can you say that? You haven't seen the movie yet. Well, I know I haven't been making videos in a while, but my track record for being able to tell whether or not a movie is gonna suck, especially superhero movies, is like 100%. This started off back in 2022 when I made a video about how I thought She-Hulk was gonna be the worst thing the MCU's ever made, and then it came out and I was entirely vindicated, okay? And then I said the same thing about the Marvels. Didn't make a video, but I was completely right about that as well. I was completely right about Thor Love and Thunder. Everyone was like, ooh, it's gonna be another Thor Ragnarok. And I was like, I don't know, probably not. And then it wasn't, okay? So mark my words, Agatha All Along, Captain America 4, and Thunderbolts are not going to be good. Okay, they don't have any interesting characters that we already like, and we know the talent at Marvel is not good anymore, so they're not going to be able to get us to care about new characters. And they're definitely not going to be able to redeem characters that we already don't care about, like Sam Wilson, no one's favorite Avenger. The only hope that Marvel has right now is to go back to big event films, back to characters that people already care about, and that you can't mess up, right? You can't mess up Deadpool. You get a room of the worst, most activist, most untalented writers in Hollywood, and you have them write a Deadpool movie. It's still gonna be funny if Ryan Reynolds is playing Deadpool. Same thing with an Avengers movie. Even the worst one, Age of Ultron, it's still fun to see all the Avengers on screen, right? Get a bunch of terrible writers in a room, have them write an Avengers movie, it's still probably gonna be a good time. And that's why I'm not gonna be ragging on the Fantastic Four movie that Marvel's making. I like the cast, and even if the writers suck, I still think the Fantastic Four are pretty interesting. As long as it's not as bad as Fan-4stick, it's gonna be alright with me. So that's what Marvel needs to do. Go back to basics, go back to formula, make fun event films that get people excited. Stop niching down and trying to target smaller sections of the audience. Go back, make films for everyone, and that's what's gonna save the MCU. Okay, not Deadpool. The rated R comedy is fun, we're all gonna enjoy it, but it's not gonna save Marvel. A good Avengers movie, a good Fantastic Four movie, another good, I don't know, Iron Man reboot. I don't want an Iron Man reboot, but if there was an Iron Man reboot, that would save the MCU. Marvel has all these ideas. They have a giant catalog of awesome characters and teams like the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and they're not going to any of the interesting characters. They're going to Agatha and She-Hulk and the Thunderbolts and Sam Wilson's Captain America. Come on, guys. I'm rooting for Marvel here, okay? I know you probably think that I'm like a Marvel hater at this point in the video, but I'm rooting for them. I want them to succeed, because when they're good, like I'm assuming this Deadpool and Wolverine movie is gonna be, I have a ton of fun. I'm gonna have so much fun watching this movie with my friends countless times. It's gonna be funny, it's gonna be action-packed, there's gonna be a bunch of awesome cameos, it's gonna be like another Endgame event. I want Marvel to have Endgame Spider-Man No Way Home events all the time, but they can't do that if they keep running around in circles and making stupid decisions. So Marvel, come on. Deadpool is not gonna save you. You need to save yourselves by writing better movies. Alright, that's it for today. See you next time.